I rise this evening to inform this honorable House and the people of Bermuda of a very difficult decision that I've made. Effective March 31st of this year, I will retire as a member of Parliament representing the people of Smiths North and the people of Bermuda. Mr. Speaker, this certainly hasn't been an easy decision for me, and I've thought through it for a long time, and it's not easy for two main reasons. I love the country, and I love my family. Mr. Speaker, serving the people of Smiths North, Devonshire East, and Devonshire South before the change in the boundaries over the years has been an honor and a privilege that I will always treasure. I've enjoyed working for the people of Bermuda, and certainly I've enjoyed working to try to make Bermuda a better place. All of us know as politicians that when you represent a constituency, they can become your extended family. Smiths North has become my extended family, and I will certainly, Mr. Speaker, miss being on the doorstep and will miss those relationships. I've been blessed to serve for many years, and I'm honored to be the 12th Premier of Bermuda. While representing our people overseas, whether it be for the America's Cup announcement in 2017, ringing the bell on Wall Street, or RIMS, I always wore this flag with great pride and represented the country, the best place in the world, to try to spread the word about this treasure out here in the middle of the Atlantic. Mr. Speaker, as I reflect on politics, it might seem strange to some that I will also miss this chamber. While at times the behavior can be suspect, and I'll leave it there, on both sides, Mr. Speaker, I certainly have developed an affinity for this place and the important debates through the years. And I could speak for a long time about the debates, but I remembered early in my career that your time was not your time when we had the debate on capital punishment, Mr. Speaker, that went on well into the night, well into the next day, and there were various members who had gone home, rested, had a shower, and changed, and came back fresh to speak, Mr. Speaker. It has always been an honor, Mr. Speaker, that I will treasure in being entrusted with speaking on behalf of the constituencies that I have served for Bermuda. Mr. Speaker, I have certainly appreciated the value of always being prepared and the importance of speaking, even, Mr. Speaker, if that message might be contrary to what many in the chamber might want to hear. Mr. Speaker, that is the important and that is the strength of a healthy democracy. And thus, my difficult decision, Mr. Speaker. In those 27 years, in some aspects, public service can be a toll on one's family, and I'm sure we can all reflect on that. A real toll on one's family. Many families hide it because they support their loved one. So I'm grateful to my families, my family at Dunkley's, for their understanding my commitment to public service and covering me in my absence, especially my brother Stephen. He's been the biggest supporter I have other than my wife, and he's worked hard to cover me. There are some people at work don't think I do anything, but they'll find out in the near future what I do. I remember the time, Mr. Speaker, and I won't tell a lot of stories, but my brother means a lot to me. And I remember the time that I was threatened, and I think the Honorable Premier can reflect in how that can get you for a moment. Well, it was a busy day, and I got a call from my brother, and he said, "Hey, mate, you all right?" I said, yeah, I'm cool. What happened? He said, "Well, if you need any help, just let me know. I got your back." That's my brother all the time. Did not want to talk the issues, but he supported me, and he never questioned when I was gone. But, Mr. Speaker, most importantly, my wife. You know, our spouses sometimes take a handoff approach in politics, and my wife never raised politics unless she knew I needed to get something off my chest. My mother, my biggest critic and a good supporter, and certainly my family for their enduring support and advice they give me. It's not easy for those people, but I'm blessed and I'm grateful that I always had their support. And to my wife, Pamela, the true angel, now on Friday nights, she has to deal with me. I remember, Mr. Speaker, when I first mooted that I want to get involved in politics, I remember asking my wife, and at that time, our children were young. And she said, well, our children are young, just starting out in school, and perhaps now's not the right time. She let that sink in for a moment, and then she said, it's your decision, and whichever way you go, I'll support you 100%. The rest is history, Mr. Speaker. Today we have two beautiful daughters. They're both married. I got two grandchildren and another one thankfully on the way. And that's the best part of any day, Mr. Speaker. I'm blessed to live next to my daughter. And when I drive home, if the car's in the yard, I'm late for my wife, but I see my grandchildren. Mr. Speaker, I would also like to thank my branch in Smith North for their support and assistance through the years in all my branches. And every member of this chamber, I'm sure, appreciates the value of a good branch because you can't get elected without it, Mr. Speaker. And I've been blessed through the years to have great branches, great people to support me all the way through the process. Mr. Speaker, I'd like to thank my colleagues in the OBA, past and present, for their commitment and work. I know it's not easy. I know it oftentimes we think we'd rather be somewhere else, but the people of Bermuda count on us for the work we do. So thank you to my colleagues for your support. And one final group that I want to thank, because I can't thank everybody, but there's a group that calls various members of parliament, and they're the Friday prayer warriors, Mr. Speaker. Bermuda is rich in our religious values and tradition. And I was blessed to get to know these prayer warriors early in my time in parliament, and they pray for you every Friday and then call you and notify you of their prayer. That support has been a tremendous boost and a source of comfort, and I really appreciate the faith that they have showed. Mr. Speaker, it's been a difficult decision because time waits for nobody. And in listening to a senior member of the U.S. Senate some weeks ago, he said that Father Time is undefeated. And I can't say that I ever looked at it that way, but it confirmed, Mr. Speaker, my very tough decision to retire because I'm not about to test Father Time. Mr. Speaker, I look forward to spending more time with my grandchildren and my family and other things in life that I certainly have responsibilities for. Like many, I've worked tirelessly in service, and I'm proud of that service, Mr. Speaker. While I have a few regrets along the way, I did my best. I gave it all, and I endeavored to serve with honesty, integrity, to help making this island home the best place it can be. Mr. Speaker, there's never a good time to retire. Bermuda today, for all the good that we've done and all the progress that we made, still has significant challenges. If we fail to tackle those head on, we fail to build that better future for our people and the coming generations. If we fail to work together or consistently take partisan positions, we will fail our people and the coming generations. Mr. Speaker, in my time, sadly, I've seen less reaching across the aisle and more time spent in making sure one gets reelected. In my time, I've seen more time and effort on bashing the other side than working on what's best for Bermuda. In my time, I've seen more importance placed on party than the importance of Bermuda. This can't continue on both sides, Mr. Speaker. I know we can do better. I have faith in this chamber. I have faith in the people who are in this chamber because they were sent by the people of Bermuda. But it is obvious and clear to me, Mr. Speaker, that people are tired of the partisan politics as we live in difficult times with many of our islanders struggling or immigrating. We must change and we must do better. This government certainly does not like to hear this, but the reality is, and they've admitted that they're struggling people, more people immigrating than ever before. And there is a concern about the future and a lack of confidence in the future. Yes, international business and the associated businesses with that are doing well, and that foundation helps the island greatly, and we must never forget their importance. but we must also remember that we have people struggling in our community. Mr. Speaker, I will always remain available to assist in any way that I can in support of the people of Bermuda. I love this country like everyone does in this chamber. I will no longer be a member of Parliament as of March 31st, but my desire to make Bermuda a better place for future generations will not wane. I will remain available to help when requested. After all, we are always available to help this beautiful island. So, Mr. Speaker, I'd like to thank you and colleagues for affording me this opportunity to say what I've said tonight, and may the good Lord continue to bless and to guide this chamber and our island home. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Member.